And here we go, our debut. Hello, Matthew Pearson. How are we?
Hello, Jordan Beswarwick.
That's me. Welcome to our debut episode, as I said, of Sellouts. This is the beginning of hopefully something very special. We decided this was a great idea because we've definitely got a very mutual love for not only each other, but music as a whole. And I feel like we've got a lot of opinions that could be deemed as enjoyable or entertaining in a negative way. I don't know. We'll leave that up to the viewer. Tell me a little about yourself, Matt. Want to get to know you more than I probably already do.
My name's Matt. I like to play the drums, and my favorite color is green.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
My name's Jordan. I play the bass, and my favorite color is red. Is this an AA meeting or what?
Yeah. I was straight there, like when you go like uni or something, it's like, let's go around and share like 3 facts about yourself.
Yeah. No, it works. So we are, I guess you could say, childhood friends. Is it technically childhood?
Would you count high school? We'll go high school friends. I wouldn't say childhood.
High school friends. Okay.
High school friends, yeah. Because we met in year 8, but we really became good mates in year 9.
Really. Yeah, that's it.
I would say, yeah.
Thanks to the subject of music, which is very, very convenient.
Yes. Yeah.
I do remember walking around in year 7 and 8, seeing you, and you were just one of the 120 other guys in the year. Just okay. There's someone.
There's that guy who doesn't talk. He just keeps to himself. I'm so shy in year 7.
Mate, that it was all of us. This is not staying in today.
That's what she said.
There will be a lot of that. Disclaimer: there will be a lot of out of pocket content sometimes, which is always fun. I do remember. Well, actually, I don't remember, but I remember the story of apparently the first time that we spoke properly.
Oh, yeah. So in our music class, how it was set up is that there was an electric drum kit, and it used a bass amp. So Jordan and I had to literally share the same amp. So I'd be sitting here, and then Jordan would be sitting to my right, and I was drumming away. Jordan was doing his thing, and I remember he just sort of stopped playing, sort of watching me, and then I sort of noticed it, and I don't know, got like self-conscious or whatever. I sort of looked over. I was like, "You're all good?" And he's like, "Do you even know how to play the drums?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, you're pretty shit."
I've always disagreed with that story because I would never have said that to anyone that back then. I was, but you're really adamant about it, aren't you? It definitely happened.
I remember it all too well.
Wow.
And now we're best
friends.
I would
apologize,
but no, am I wrong?
Yeah. No, it was the start of something awesome. So there we go.
Start of how long have we known each other now? 12 years. There you
go. Yeah, wow. That's
crazy.
Yeah. Great. So what we wanted to do this episode was get to know maybe each other more based on our music. We have obviously spoken about music a lot in the past, but we wanted to order our favorites, I guess you could say, our favorite albums specifically. I deem albums as crucial within music because it's the collection of songs that an artist puts out that they want all to be recognized at the same concept, and I just think they're really important.
Yeah. I believe as well, albums. I think we both believe that albums is the way music's really meant to be listened to, because that's like how the artist intended it. They purposely put the tracks in that order. I'm not a playlist person. I don't believe you are either.
I've got I do have a couple of playlists that are songs that I genuinely enjoy listening to
Mm,
as individuals, which is completely different to what I deem as a great album.
yeah, yeah,
So I want to I
yeah,
want to get the songs that I like that stand alone outside of the
yeah.
album. So yeah,
There's nothing wrong with a playlist, but it's just I don't know. It just feels weird to be jumping. Like sometimes I feel like listening to a particular artist or whatever, you know.
yeah,
So I'll just chuck an album of theirs on. You know, I know it's very popular nowadays to put on to listen to playlists and have 200 different artists and 400 songs or whatever, you know. So
yeah, exactly
I
right.
don't know.
Yeah,
I just we sort of I think hold the opinion of the way to experience an artist's music is really through an album.
yeah,
Yeah,
purist. I guess you could say.
yeah, yeah.
Um, Snobby or not, deem it however you want. That's just our opinion. Yeah, exactly. Get
Yeah.
the monocle back on. Um, so yep. So again, to add on to that, this episode or next couple of episodes is going to be our top 20 favorite albums of all time as of right now. Um, with an add-on of five honorable mentions each. Ones that
Yeah,
just missed out, I guess you could say. Um, so would you like to get us started, Matt?
absolutely.
Get straight
So
into it.
my first honorable mention uh is an album I discovered in high school, and it's a band I still love. I've seen them live twice, and both times were unbelievable, especially the second time. Um, Royal Blood, and the name of the album is Royal Blood. It's a debut album in 2014. Um,
Conveniently titled.
yeah, it's a debut album from 2014, and it's just I remember when I first heard it, I thought it was a three-piece band, but it's actually a two-piece band. It's just
Yeah.
drummer and a bass player, which is very suited for this. And he just has all this distortion, all these effects on his bass that it sounds like a guitar, but he's using a
Mm.
bass, and it's just absolutely wild. And even seeing it live, it was just so just powerful. It's just like the tone he has on his bass just like goes fucking through you. It's insane. Just
Does
like,
he
oh my God,
play
like
does he play with the track? Like does he overdub um like the bass on top of like the guitar sounding bass or
no, no,
okay.
it's just the bass and then the drummer. Sometimes I think when I saw him, there's a song called Lights Out, and it's really hard to sort of describe. There's like a in the beginning of the chorus, there's like a backing vocal. That was, I think, like part of a backing track because it was so like, oh, okay, that's just straight from the album. But in terms of his bass, no, like when he's playing live, he's playing the bass, and he's
Okay.
actually very secretive of his pedal board. Like he does, I watched an interview where he's like he doesn't even allow his road crew to set it up. He sets it up and then hands it to them to place on the stage
Oh wow. Okay.
because he's so like he's apparently put a lot of time and effort into working out this tone. Um, And so there's so many people online who've tried to work it out, or like they have a bass, like they do like a cover and they do it, and it's just not even close. So I don't know what the man's doing.
Mm.
Or Michael Kerr, that's his name. And the drummer's Ben Thatcher. So I don't know what Mike's doing, but I want him
Mm.
to keep doing it.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I love, love, love this album a lot. And 10 years later, I still think it's a brilliant album.
Yep. Yep. Okay. What was there? Is that the album that's got the you'll see it on the screen right now, but I can't remember
Yeah,
the
it's
album specifically.
white, and then it's like it's like a lady in black. I don't know how to describe
Yeah.
it. I mean, it's on the screen.
Yep. It's that's the one that I do remember seeing a lot of. Definitely you
Yeah,
talking about a lot.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. Okay. What's the
And
big song on that album again? The
yeah, well, I was about to say my favorite song on it is the opening track, "Out of the Black." Um,
Yep.
yeah,
That's
I
one I
mean,
know.
a lot of the songs are on there. I think a close second, which is actually the very first song of theirs I heard. I believe it's track 3 on the album. It's called "Figure It Out." Um, that's another great tune. off the top of my head. Loose Change is another good one. Come On Over is another great one. It's a fantastic album. Go
Yep.
listen to it. Absolutely, if you're into your rock music. Great, great
Bloody
album.
oath. Beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
Rightio. Great start. Oh, by the way, so we have our honorable mentions. I did write them in order of how much I like them, but in it with respect to the albums that I haven't put on my honorable mentions, I'm not going to order them because there might be something that I've completely missed that I like more than these ones. So I'm just going to count these as honorable mentions just in general. I think you've done the same, haven't you?
Yeah, my honorable mentions are just they're just five, just there. I haven't ranked them whatsoever.
Okay. Ones that
Yeah.
just missed out on your actual
Yes.
top
Yeah.
20 list.
Missed it by that much. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm going to start with Enema of the State by Blink 182.
Damn. What?
Um, yeah, that's
I didn't know
why
you were
it's
a
an
Blink
honorable
fan.
mention. I'm not the biggest Blink 182 fan, just for the fact that I haven't actually listened to all of their discography before. But this album in particular, I do love. I loved it back
Yeah.
in like late high school as well. Mid to late
That's why
high
you never
school.
told me this.
Really? Oh wow. Okay. I
Wow.
do like this album a lot. You would know way more about the band than I would,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
this album in particular, as I said, I've just
Yeah.
got a big soft spot for it. It's just peak like late '90s kind of punk sound for me.
Yeah. It's
Um,
a classic pop punk album.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
amazing. Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
I
I
don't know.
was lucky to go see him in February. Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, you were. I forgot about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought you went.
Yeah. That
How's
was
that?
the only time I've been to a concert where I was actually just laughing my head off. That was so funny on stage.
Oh, just like
Yeah, I hadn't experienced
their.
something like that before.
Oh right.
Just their banter.
Yeah,
Like they're
right.
just on stage talking about how desperately Mark and Tom just wanted to fuck each other. Just the whole time. So
Was
good.
there like any sexual tension on stage, or was it just like
Yeah.
absolute bullshit? What there was.
They just were just the entire time, they were just like, I just want to fuck you so hard, Mark.
Bloody hell. Okay.
Yeah, that was it was awesome.
Where was that? Was that Sydney?
That was Sydney at Kudos Bank Arena. Yeah, that was the
Kudos.
beginning of the
Okay.
year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Um, yeah, I just think this is a very fun album. Every song is really short as well.
Yeah.
So it's rapid fire. It's like a half an hour album, I'm pretty sure. It's like around that.
Something like that. Yeah, it's like 30, 35. It's very short. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's as I said, it's so much fun. I've got a lot of soft spots for the songs on the album as well. I think my favorite, it's definitely not um all the small things, as some people would probably
Yeah.
vote for their favorite. I think it would be Dysentery Gary,
Good
um,
choice. I like
or
that.
Dumpweed. I don't know. I think Dumpweed's a pretty cool
Yes.
opener. Um,
Yeah, Stumpboy, in my opinion, is like one of the best pop punk album openings ever.
yep,
So
yep.
good.
And
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't know at all that I like this album.
I swear we've never talked about this.
Wow.
Or have we? And I've just forgotten. Maybe I've just
I'm
forgotten.
sure I'm sure it's come up in conversation at least once. But I'm really glad to surprise you with my
Yeah.
honorable mention.
Wow.
So
That's
there we go.
awesome. I love that.
Okay.
All right.
What's your second one?
Second one is actually a band I only discovered in the last few years. I don't think we've ever really talked about them, but it's a band called Deftones and the album Diamond Eyes. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
just a really heavy album. You're gonna see this list. I love my heavy. It's a really heavy album that got like the drop. I don't know what it'd be like drop D or drop C, probably even. They go really
Right.
low on this album. The time signatures that are scattered throughout this album is just so satisfying to listen to. As I've gotten older, I just love the use of time signatures and how they weave from one to the other to the other. It's just so satisfying, and it's just like great musicianship. Uh, just yeah, it's just this amazing album. My favorite song on it is actually played the least heaviest, ironically. It's a song called Sex Tape. It's just because the lyrics and what the song's about, it just punches you right in the feels. Um, it's a yeah, amazing album, great song. Don't know
Okay.
what else really to say. It's just another album I'd just recommend for you just to go listen to. To anyone
I
listening, and for you as well.
I don't know much about them at all, to be
Yeah.
honest. Um,
They're they were sort of towards the back end of like the new metal sort of
yeah.
scene. Um, I think they started in like the 90s and they're still going strong to this day. And they're like
Okay.
one of the most respected like new metal
Hmm.
bands.
I
Because they
might not know
didn't really
much.
follow any of the trends. That's sort of why they stuck to their sound. Anyway.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a genre that I haven't really explored much, to be honest.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
uh, it is very
I'll have to
popular.
show you some albums in that genre.
Yeah, please
There's
do.
probably like
Please do.
4 or 5 albums. I'm like, give these a listen, you get into it.
I'm sure I'll find. I'm
Yeah,
sure that will find its way into my ears at some point.
yeah.
Um, Great. Okay, so my next one is the only classical music on my list.
What?
You
Okay.
wouldn't expect me to say classical music, will you?
No,
It's great. I'm just throwing you off completely, like straight
this
away.
is awesome. Yeah.
So it is obviously not the recordings from Gustav Holt, but it is Adrian Leeper recording Gustav Holt's the the planets. I love the planets,
Right.
um, the entire um, symphony of each of the individual planets by Holst. They're just so good. But this specific one from Adrian Leeper, the composer, it was recorded by the Slovak Radio Symphony Orchestra in the 80s. I remember
Right.
having this album on CD, like it was just in my dad's car. It was just like, I don't know, just always around in my family, just covered. I just saw this album cover exactly what you guys will see on screen right now. And I just remember listening to it and just thinking, this is awesome. I love, if this is what classical music is, I love it. It's kind of stemmed why I've got a soft spot for classical music and why I do love it a lot. Um, I remember as well, mum and dad took us um, to Thirroul Town Hall or something like that. I can't remember exactly where it was, but they took us to in Wollongong, which is where I'm from, and you. I'm
Yeah.
you're there at the moment. I'm not. I'm in
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Christchurch.
yeah, you're kind of yeah, you're in New Zealand, mate.
Yeah, I am. I
Traitor.
am. Yeah, traitorous, I know. They took us to see I can't remember exactly what concert it was, but it was some kind of classical music, and they played music by Holst. That I'm pretty sure they played Mars, and that was just unreal. And from there, I just loved it. I always wanted to listen to it. Um, it's got Jupiter as well, the piece that most people would know if they heard it. And then it's got Mars that sounds like Star Wars music, like when it was composed, like in the early 1900s, even before cinema was obviously thought of properly.
So when John Williams was
Um,
born,
yeah,
the
probably
early
he's a dinosaur, isn't
1900s.
he? Jesus. Um,
Jurassic Park's actually about him.
when he wasn't that old.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. This I wanted to I wanted to put it in my honorable mentions because I love classical music and I wanted at least something to be there. And if I play the entirety of the CD, it's so relaxing. Except for Mars. Mars is not a relaxing piece. Um, but yeah, I think my favorite is Jupiter. I still think the middle section of that piece is some of the best classical music, even music ever written. It's just so beautiful and crisp. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Um, so shout out to Adrian Leeper and the Slovak Radio Symphony Orchestra from the 80s.
Will
Let's
they
go.
still be around?
I well, it's the orchestra probably would be. I don't know about Adrian Leeper though. I've got no
Yeah.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's that
I don't know what this
that specific album though. That specific recording of
specific album
his planet's pieces.
of the planets. Have you listened to any
Yep.
of his other stuff?
Gustav Holt
Yeah.
or well, yeah, yeah, I have. But this is peak Holst, I think.
This is his magnum opus.
This is his, yeah, absolutely.
Damn.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You've really thrown me with the curveballs. Oh my God.
Blink 182
I feel like
to
I'm about to predict. Yeah, it's a
Holst.
classical. Mine's just right.
I'm scared now that it's going to be too like
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know,
My list is pretty
all over the place.
straightforward. I'm excited for your list. My list is whatever. I guess this is a little bit of a change up, sort of. It's an Australian band. For my third honorable mention, there's a band called DZ Death Rays. Have you heard of them?
Never in my life have I ever heard that name.
Never. Oh, they're from
Never.
honestly Brisbane. They're a duo. Well, they were a duo. I think they've incorporated a third person now. I can't prefer when they were a duo, but it is what it is. It's a
Okay.
an album I got into. The album's called Black Rat, I should say. So, yeah, Black
Black
Rat.
Rat.
Which
Okay.
again, I want to also say is turning 10 years old. I think. Um, it's an album I got into when I first, when we got out of high school and Valhalla fell apart, and I got into another band, and I was really trying to listen to more Australian music, and this is one of the albums I listened to, and it just clicked with me and it just stuck with me. I like the riffs that are on this album. There's so many great riffs. That just riffs that like if you were to sort of see them live, like you just get the people bouncing and getting the moshing. And from a I guess performer standpoint, and even the listener standpoint, that's what I love. I love going to a show. I love bouncing. I love moshing, and I think why I like that album is in my head. I'm like, okay, when I write with other people, how can we write riffs like that and get people really engaged and that sort of stuff? My favorite song on the album is called Reflective Skull. And I think that's probably the best song in terms of like, it just makes you bounce. It's got a very bouncy riff and bouncy uh, rhythm and all that. It's just a fun album. And it's a great album for like when you go a long drive. It's a great driving
Okay.
album, which I know probably sounds a bit weird, but if you listen to the album, I think you'd get it.
I know what you
So
mean. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, right. Okay.
that's my number three. There we go.
Okay. So it sounds like a very
All right.
underground band that should be a bit bigger than what they are.
They're one of those ones like they're big in Australia, like they played on like Triple J and that. But if you go to I don't know, like they're a big Australian band, but I'm not sure how they are outside of
Right.
Australia. Maybe I feel like they might have a following like England or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great
right.
band. So what's the next curveball you're gonna throw me? We're going to bloody reggae now or something?
So Bob Marley's greatest hits. Um, um, no, my so I'm picking and choosing what ones I want to say first. Of my five that
Yeah.
I wrote down. I'll just go into the one that you won't know, which is by an Australian artist called Josh Pike. Um,
Yeah, you've
so
talked to me
this
about him, yeah.
Yeah, he's one of
Yeah.
my family's big artists. Definitely a nostalgia artist for me. Um, but it's specifically the album Chimneys of Fire. I when a couple months ago when we started to write our list, I listened to another one called Memories and Dust that I was trying to pick and choose which one I like more. Turns out is this one by the slimmest of margins. I don't know why.
Damn.
So I chose this one instead. Chimneys of Fire. Came out in '08, I'm pretty sure, around then. It was just, as you said, with the band that you had before, the album you had before, just the ultimate driving album. You just
Yeah.
put on with your family. It's just the perfect like just background noise. Driving, go
Yeah.
somewhere on like a Sunday afternoon or something.
Yeah.
Um, I couldn't tell you what my favorite song is. I know that the summer has a big it's definitely big within my family, so I might just say that one out of just sheer I don't know, love for my family's music and whatever else. Um, but yeah, he's definitely an artist that I would like to explore a bit more, maybe on this
Yeah.
podcast, at some point. He's a very underground, underappreciated, um, Aussie artist that should be bigger than what he is, I think. Um,
Have you seen him live?
I've seen him live. I have.
Yeah, I was
Um,
gonna say, I
that was
swear you told me that you have at Enmore Theatre.
that was Enmore. Yep, yep.
Yeah. And I think I'm sort of telling
Matt's
the
also got
story. You
Matt's also got the one of the best memories ever as well. So he will just like shock me with some of the stuff that he does remember. I'm really impressed that you know that.
really? Because I was gonna say I just had a flashback to you telling me you saw him, and I think you said
Yep.
that after the show or before the show, you got to meet him, or like he
Yeah,
was
he
like at the
was.
front of the stage like meeting people, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, he came back out like I don't know 5 minutes after the show and was just like signing
Oh yeah,
stuff, which I thought was really cool. Again, he's he's not really he's not infamous or majorly best selling or whatever else. So he's very
yeah,
humble. And
yeah.
he just releases very humble music. And I think Chimneys of Fire is my favorite of his albums, and that's why I
Oh
chucked that
yeah,
on there.
yeah. I remember you. Oh, many years ago we talked about him. I think I can't tell you which album it was this that I listened to, but I remember listening to one of them. I liked it. Yeah, it's really calm music.
Yeah, calm,
Yeah, I love
acousticy.
that. Yeah, yeah.
He's also not afraid of throwing in like f bombs as well out of nowhere too.
Oh, good on him.
Yeah, so
I
I
mean, if
don't
it's
know.
Australian,
He's
you got to.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, there we go.
Oh yeah. All right. My second last honorable mention. Hmm. I'll save the other one for last because it's. I know you'll. I don't know if you'll be surprised, or whatever, but we'll go this one.
Okay, okay,
Band called White Stripes or The White Stripes. And the album is called White Blood Cells. It's their second album. No, it's their third album. Sorry.
okay.
Their third album. Uh, it's funny I picked this one because I think most people would say Elephants because that's the one with Bloody Seven Nation Army on it, and it probably has like a lot
Yeah,
of the big.
that's the popular one,
That's the
isn't it?
big one. Yeah. But White Stripes is just a band. A few years ago, I just became obsessed with. I love the simplicity and the rawness of the sound because again, it's
Okay.
another duo band. It's just Jack White on the guitar, screeching the hell out of his guitar. And then there's Meg White, who isn't, in my opinion, an overhated drummer. She's one of my favorite drummers. People give her a lot of crap because it's like, oh, her drumming is simple. And it's like,
She's got the
well,
Ringo
for the
effect.
sound, they go, yes. I was about to say
Yeah.
she's basically a female Ringo. It's just like she is serving the song, you know. Like I know I just listen to the songs and I'm like, okay, if I was in that position and I was to come up with a drum beat, I think the part I would write, in my opinion, would be worse because the simplicity is what makes it great. You know, it's the music in itself is simple, and I don't mean it in a bad way. It's just that's, simple but effective kind of sound.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, and that's what I love about the White Stripes. And they're a band I wish was still together, but they haven't been together for like 10, 15 years now. I think their last album was also 2007, with Icky Thump,
Okay.
which is a great
Wow.
album. But
That's quite a while ago. I thought
yeah,
they were
well, Jack
still
White
like,
does.
oh, of
Yeah,
course
well,
he
they
does.
started
Yeah.
late 90s and they were massive in the 2000s. Um, but yeah, Jack White does a lot of solo stuff now, which I still follow, and it's amazing because it's Jack White. Jack White's a phenomenal musician. Um, One of my favorite guitarists. But on this album, my favorite song is I Think I Smell a Rat. It's very bluesy, which a lot of their songs are, and it's just a fun song about uh sort of in the sense of like I smell a rat in the sense like I smell a traitor kind of thing. Like I could smell
Okay.
someone's gonna turn on me kind of thing.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
it's just a fun song. I don't know. And it's a song I
Great.
can play on the guitar as well. It's very, very fun. Yeah.
That's the second rat that's come up. There was Black Rat, and now there's
I'm just
new
into my rats,
smell
man.
one too. Yeah. Put them up.
Hell yeah. What's
Yeah.
your next honorable? Oh, you want to keep talking? Oh,
Oh no, no, that's fine. No, I was just gonna say, yeah, um I need to explore the White Stripes more.
Yeah,
They're one of those like 2000s bands that I sadly haven't bothered to like, I
yeah.
don't know,
I think I've talked
explore
to you
further.
about them, and I think you usually go, "Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
listen to them." And then yeah,
I
I know
classically
you obviously know your
probably said
Seven
I
Nation
would,
Army,
and
but yeah,
well,
everyone knows
that
that song. Yeah,
that is I think arguably that is the song that everyone would know and expect you sorry
yeah,
expect you to know and say, oh,
yeah,
can you play that on bass?
yeah. The funny
Yes, I
thing is
can.
that's their biggest song, but all their other songs sound nothing like that song.
All their
Like
other
I don't
songs.
know, it's got this. It's just different because like it's such a sounds like it's such a radio rock friendly sound, and you listen to other stuff, it's like it's just like it's so raw.
Wow.
You know,
Okay.
even when you listen to Elephants, like you listen to that and the next song, oh, can't remember what the next song is, but even like the next track, it's just so raw and in your face. And it's just like, whoa, okay. You know, I can't remember off the top of my head. I can hear the song in my head, but I can't remember the name of it. Track two
Right.
of Elephants.
Okay.
Anyway,
Great.
number four.
Yeah, I'll be chucking them on the listening list at some point. Um, okay, I'll go with the non actually I won't spoil it. I'll just go with this band. A band called Rush. Um,
Hmm.
Moving Pictures is my favorite
I'm surprised it's
album.
on your honorables. Wow.
Yeah, I would be surprised as well. As a band, these guys would be majorly up there. I love Rush
Oh,
as a
yes.
band. Um, which would it's hard to explain why I put my favorite album in my honorable mentions, but the band itself is way higher up. Um,
Hmm.
but I don't know. There's something about this album. It was between this and Permanent Waves.
2112? Oh, Permanent Waves.
Permanent Waves.
Yes.
Free Will and Spirit of Radio and all that. But no, I think
Yes, Spirit Radio.
Moving Pictures has some of their best like album tracks, Limelight and Red
Yeah.
Barchetta and whatever else.
Yeah.
Um,
YYZ. Oh,
yeah,
so good.
classic.
Tom Sawyer,
Um,
of course.
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
It's peak musicianship, pinpoint
Yeah.
timing, pinpoint just flow, and just being on the same page. Everyone does their job. Um,
Yeah.
but then again, most of their albums are the same as Moving Pictures. It's just this one has, I think, the most enjoyable range of songs for me.
Yeah.
If I was to choose a song to play, I'd probably pick an album to play. I'd choose this one just based on the songs that are on there. Um, Skill wise, it's probably not as insane as some of their other stuff. I know that they can be a bit more intense in other albums. This one's probably a bit more laid back, which is still saying a lot because it's still pretty out there. Some of the time signatures and
Yeah.
whatever else that they have. Favorite song is probably YYZ. I think it
Yes.
would it wouldn't be the song that I would choose to listen to. I think that would be something like Limelight. Um, but just it's my favorite. YYZ is my favorite song because come on,
Yeah.
I'm a bass player and it would be wrong to like say
Yeah.
otherwise, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've even jammed that song together. It's such a fun song to play. Such a fun song.
Fun on drums as well.
Yeah. Oh, Neil Peart, man, rest in peace.
Got
But
the got the bloody goat on there.
yeah, exactly. Well, we'll do an episode on drummers, and
Arguably the
he
goat. Yeah.
most definitely will be on that list.
Yes.
Um, Incredibly high. Um, but yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. What I always found impressive with that album, I think it's only 7 tracks.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
think it's just
Yep.
7 songs. It's like one of the best albums ever written. It's like,
The last two songs
yeah,
are like 8 minutes, so they kind of
yeah,
just carry over. Yeah.
yeah. But that's an average Rush song. That's actually that's a short Rush song, to be fair.
Yeah.
8 minutes. Yeah.
That's true.
Most of them are up
That's
to
true.
12 or 15, you know. Um, no, I agree with everything you said. It's Rush, one of the greatest bands ever. Um,
Yeah, the goats. They're
yeah,
so no more. They're a musos band, aren't they? They're not really a band
yeah,
that you would show your grandma or I don't know your 12-year-old nephew. They're just a band that are really appreciated by people that know what they're
Yeah.
doing. If that makes sense.
And then the second best Canadian band to come out since before, fuck that joke up. I was gonna say they're the second best Canadian band after Nickelback.
Maybe we'll do a Canadian episode.
Fuck, that hurt to say.
Yeah, take that back, please.
I do.
All right, let's
I
move on.
mean, Geddy Lee
What's
or
your next
Chad
one?
Kroger, man.
Jesus.
Just
On actually something Chad's got the better voice,
oh bullshit. You
the
reckon?
better the better rock voice. I would prefer to sound
Oh,
like Chad
okay.
Kroger singing than Geddy Lee personally.
Just a dying
Would you not?
animal. Yeah. That's my Geddy Lee impression. There you
I'm not even going to do mine. It's our
go.
it's our first episode. It would just go downhill from there
Yeah.
if I got involved in that.
All right. My last
Last one.
honorable mention. I'll see if you, I'll give you some hints. I want to see if you can guess this one. This is an Australian band that we have
Okay.
both seen live. And I know it's another nostalgia album for you. Would you like to take a guess?
So did we see this band together?
Yes.
No way. Is it self-titled Wolf Mother?
Yes.
That's my last honorable mention as well. There's no way.
Damn. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, go on, talk
There
about
we
it, and
go.
then
Perfect.
I'll just throw I'll throw
I
in
mean,
the old comment.
it's far out. Yeah, it's like one of the best Australian albums of the 2000s. It's sad that I feel like they sort of I mean, the next Cosmic Egg was also a great album, but I feel like they should be a bigger band than what they are. I feel like they had
Yeah.
such an amazing start and then they just weren't able to follow on with it. Like they're still great. Like if they came to town again, I'd 100% see them.
Yep.
But I just think they never topped this album. This album is
No.
just it's
It's
just
an
every
amazing
song on
debut,
it is
isn't it?
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, it's the definition of peaking early,
Yeah, it
unfortunately.
is. Especially when you've got a
Yeah.
song like Joker and the Thief, like that's made like
Yeah.
movies, like Hollywood. It was in Megamind and Shrek, I'm pretty sure as well. Um,
Was it?
I'm pretty sure it's in Shrek
Shrek.
3. Yeah,
Oh, three.
it's when the like the trees start like I don't know invading far away. I'm pretty sure the like
Oh,
witches
to be
and
fair,
all the like. Oh, okay,
I haven't seen Shrek 3 in God knows how long.
well
So
maybe it'll be in Shrek 5 when that eventually comes out.
Yeah, I'm excited when that comes out in 2 years' time. Just
Jesus,
don't know why they're advertising it now.
bit of a wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm just hang on. Can we go back to the fact that it's in the exact same order as well?
Yeah, it's like 21. Like I would genuinely put this at 21. This is the one that
Yeah.
just missed.
Yeah. No,
Like,
I was listening to this because I made an effort to listen to as many of these albums as I could before we did this. I was just
yeah.
listening and I'm like, it's awesome. I mean, I think the
Yeah.
sound I think the sound production is not great a lot of the time. It sounds quiet, I think. There's something about
Sounds
it that
fucking loud to me.
no, like
It's a
as
loud
in
album.
like oh, it's hard to explain. I could be completely wrong, but I don't know. There's something about it that is just um even more raw sounding than what I think it actually is. Um,
Mm,
but no, it's masterpiece. It's great. It's got some very
yeah.
underrated songs on there.
Yeah.
What's
That
your?
was so cool to go see him. And
I remember
I
that.
remember when
Yeah.
we seen them because Victorious, that's the album that were touring at the time.
Oh
And I
yeah.
remember they
Yep.
started playing songs off of that. And I remember we were both standing going, play stuff from the self-titled, please. They did like two or three in a row off that album and like Cosmic Egg. We're like, where's the self-titled shit? And
Oh
then they
no.
just played like I think about half, and I think the second half of the set was just like stuff from this album, and that's when the crowd just went insane. And it was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yep.
Um, yeah. No, that was a
That was
fun show to go to.
that was a good concert actually.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I walked there as well from my house. Wasn't that when I was living in Fairy Meadow?
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
was gonna say was that way? Was that Taraji? It was a big
yeah.
like 3 minute walk for you.
That was pretty cool to walk to my 21st favorite album's band
Yeah.
playing live.
Yeah.
What's your favorite song on the album?
I was sort of surprised by this. It's a tough pick, but I went with Apple Tree.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was really tough because you got White Unicorn, you got Dimension, you got Joker and the Thief, Cosmic Eye, like so many great songs. But something about Apple Tree, I'm just like, oh no, it's just fun. It's just very punk, and it's just
Yep.
very like. It was also I remember they played it live as well. Again, the crowd just went insane because it's a
It's
song that's
fast.
demanded to be played live. It's such
Yeah,
a like
absolutely.
yeah
Yep, yep. No,
yeah.
I can agree with that. I think I like White Unicorn or Pyramid, actually. No, sorry.
Oh,
With
Pyramid as well. Yeah,
no, yeah, no, it's Pyramid. I was thinking Witchcraft, but no, it's Pyramid.
yeah,
Pyramid because of the three-piece sound.
yeah,
And like the really driving bass as well. I think sounds really
yeah,
cool. And White Unicorn because this album was really big. When me and my family we did a road trip to Melbourne, and I just remember listening to this album like the entirety of the
yeah.
trip on repeat. And anytime I hear White Unicorn, I'm immediately taken back to that road trip. Just those
Oh,
like
that's
first few
awesome.
chords that start off. Um,
So
yeah, exactly.
good. Yeah.
So it's just one of those albums that, like Chimneys of Fire by Josh Pike, just an instant flashback to a very happy childhood with very good music being played. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I just like you, I needed this in my lists somewhere,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that
Yeah.
we actually both put it in the same spot. So that's crazy.
Yeah. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
That's unreal. That's awesome. Do you reckon? I don't think that's going to happen again for the rest of the list. If it does, I don't know. I'll flip.
Looking, I can see a couple of albums that might be there might be actual double ups, but the orders might be different. Um, Possibly.
To be fair, I think there's probably one. I can only see probably one album I think will double up. To be fair,
Right.
I think.
Okay.
Oh, actually, maybe two. Maybe two double ups. Um,
Two. Okay.
yeah. The rest of the album, I think. The rest of the album, the rest of the list, I don't think will. Um, but yeah, let's get into finally the top 20.
And I just want to reinstate something I did not say yesterday. So I guess I'm not reinstating it. I'm bringing it up. This is all based on right now as well. It's subject to changes,
Yes.
isn't it, Matt? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's
I
like how we
guarantee.
feel right now while writing it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is how I felt maybe about 3 weeks ago, when I officially finished the list. But looking at it, it's mostly right.
Yeah.
I probably, if I really, really, really thought about it, I could probably make slight changes from there. But I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to read it as it is
Yeah.
and um, cop any criticism that I may get.
Number 20 for me. I'm quite excited to talk about this album. I was listening to it again last night to re-jog my memory because I knew I was going to be talking about it. And this album is just awesome. Have you heard of the band called King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard?
Yes, I have.
You
Yes,
have?
I have.
Awesome. So they've got a million one albums. Like they're pumping out albums every 10 minutes. I think there's been two different occasions where in the span of 1 year, they released five albums. I
Really?
believe they've done that twice. Yes. They
Jesus.
did it in
Okay.
2017. I think they did it, I want to say 2022. In 1 year, five albums. They just pumped them out. And
That's
they're all
unreal.
like great albums. Yeah.
Also, the
This
quality like doesn't really.
they're that good.
Wow.
And they can
Okay.
just the genres they range is unreal. Like they've got like a blues album, they've got a thrash metal album, they've got just like a straight up rock album. This one I'm about to talk about, I would classify as like a psychedelic rock album.
Yep.
And this album that I'm going to be talking about is called Nonagon Infinity. This album, basically the album I would say is like put them on the map. It was a big album for them when it came out. I want to say 2016. Um, and it's just again back to when I was talking about the DZ Death Rays album. This is another one of those albums. Like again, I was trying to get more into Australian music at the time, and I discovered this album, and it just absolutely hooked me. It's such a unique album. Because the premise is the fact that the album is actually infinite. So every song leads into one another. And then the last track of the album actually leads into the first track. So if you link, sorry, if you loop the album actually just goes forever,
Mm,
which I
that's
find
that's
very,
clever.
very cool. Yeah, it's very, very cool. And I love the amount of ideas that just absolutely just jam packed into the album. And they do another thing that I've never really seen in the album before, where they like tease songs. And I mean that in the sense of like, say in track two, they'll play a riff or a lick that's actually the main riff, like track 4 or 5.
Mm,
Um,
wow.
which is something
Okay.
I've never seen before, and it's really cool. So you hear this new riff, and you're like, "Oh, that's cool," and then they stop playing it, go to the actual main riff of the song, and then you hear that riff from like I say, track two again, track 5, and like, "Oh, they've brought it back," and it's all linked, and it's just yeah, it's a whole like concept album, and it's just really really cool. The amount of riffs and licks and just wild stuff that goes on in this album is insane.
Okay.
Um, it's always such an exciting listen, and it's just the momentum of the album just go go go. It's like such a high energy album, and I love it. Great album,
Mm.
and
I've got to get.
again,
I've got to. I've got to get into them. Yeah.
yes, this would be the album out of the 500 that I would probably recommend you start on. Um, but if not, I'd probably recommend was it Infest the Rat's Nest, which is actually just like a straight up thrash metal album.
Rat again. That's the third
Yeah.
mention of rat in your list.
Yeah.
Bloody
Seems
hell.
to be a theme. Yeah, Infest the Rat's Nest. What do you?
Only 6 in as well. You're half rat, half rat.
Half rat.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the rest of my list. I believe there should be no more mentions of rats. If there is, something's gone wrong. Um, we'll see. I'll see if I can cram another one in there. Um, favorite song. I was really, really, really torn between two songs, and I'm going to slightly cheat and say two. I couldn't pick between them. It's called One's called
The old
Gamma
cop out.
Knife. One's called Gamma Knife, and the other one's called People Vultures. And then they're I'm gonna say track I think 3 or 4. They link into each other, and they link into each other really well. I just can't. I couldn't pick. Even last night, I kept listening to those two songs. And I'm like, I can't choose. They're both
Oh, so
great songs.
you were even doing research last night about it.
Yeah, yeah. I was listening and listening. I was like, I got to pick one. And last night, I couldn't even. I still couldn't decide. So I'm gonna go.
That's
Excuse the
probably a sign
lighting.
then.
Yeah.
Open the
Yeah.
pearly gates.
All right.
No. Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
that's worse. There we go.
Right. Great choice. They're a band that I hear the mention of every now and then. And
Yeah.
yeah, I haven't bothered to take that further. So I need to. They're on
Yeah.
my infinite list of bands that I just need to actually just
Yeah, exactly. There's
peel the
so much
band-aid
stuff
off and
to.
just get into them. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your number 20,
Um,
man?
yeah, so my number 20 is an album and band that you are very familiar with. Um, more so the band. I don't hear you talk about this album much, but the band, Silverchair, Diorama.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
I
Um,
wow.
Silverchair are one of our classic meme bands where we it's actually one of the few bands where I think we have complete opposite opinions.
Yeah.
But Diorama is an album that I think is I think it's their magnum opus.
I've come
Um,
around, to be fair.
oh, okay, right.
Yes.
I don't know. It's
Yeah.
got everything. I know that the other albums do as well. Less so Young Modern Station.
Yeah.
That's more so on the pop range, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But I feel like this album has. It's kind of like um, I don't know, kind of like peak Queen or Zeppelin, where they can have a lot of different kind of sounding songs within the album. You've got your you've got your really heavy songs like The Lever, and then you've got your ballads like Across the Night or whatever else.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's something about this album that I love just listening all the way through and going, wow, there are some great songs on here. Daniel Johns is an awesome songwriter. His lyric writing is a bit strange, but it works. Um,
yeah,
it definitely fits the kind of weirdness of the band sometimes and the themes of
yeah,
the songs. Um, but I love the musicianship as well. The yeah, three piece. Um, I don't know. It's. I think I think it's their peak as well. It's their peak regarding the fact that they had some great songs beforehand, and then they just rose another level. I think into
yeah.
this realm of kind of songwriting. Um, yeah, I'm sure we will have a Silverchair episode though at some point, so
Oh,
I won't
100%.
I won't
Yeah,
say too much more. Um,
yeah.
is is there anything you want to add, seeing as though you do have an opinion?
Uh, I'm just surprised it's this low. To be fair, I
Ah,
expected this album to be on your list, but I
okay.
thought this would be between top 15 or top 10. I thought it'd be more up there.
Ah, interesting.
Um,
Okay.
but I definitely get what you're saying, like the whole Queen thing. Like it's a very, I guess, like epic sounding album. It's very large and very just like orchestral and just like this the sound. The album sounds like it's like exploding. It's just so massive. Um,
Someone,
and saying that
so,
like,
someone,
sorry,
someone, you could put it on like Broadway or something. It's one of those albums that you could just put on
yes,
Broadway and
especially a song like
it would
Across
sound
the
great.
Night.
Yeah,
Especially
exactly.
that. Oh, so
Yeah.
that sounds like a song out of a musical. Um, one of my favorite songs, sorry, excuse that. One of my favorite songs on the album is actually One Way Meal. That's like one of the heaviest riffs I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's like drop B, I think the tuning of that song.
It's something
The
completely
guitar tuning.
unrealistic.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
it's it's so ridiculous. Like, oh my God. Um, but
I don't know what my favorite
you,
song is actually.
you can pick one.
Maybe Without You. Um,
That's a beautiful song, yeah.
I don't know. It's one of those albums where I can't really pick. I don't really have a favorite song. It's just the album as a whole. Actually, funnily enough, I wouldn't choose many Silverchair songs as my favorite songs of all time. Um, in
Mm.
general, with their whole discography, especially this album, I would not choose a song specifically and go, I'm going to place this in my top list. It's the album as a whole. It's one of those albums that is just a complete journey.
Yeah,
That's why
yeah.
that's why I like these songs because they're part of a collection of this kind of sound. Um,
Yeah, their albums are definitely how we spoke about yesterday about how we like to listen, like we hit track one and let it roll. All of the Silverchair albums are 100% designed to be listened that way.
yep,
I very rarely just like I want to listen to this one Silverchair song. It's if I'm listening
exactly.
to Silverchair, I'm putting on an album.
Yep,
The
yep,
diorama, especially, it feels like you have to listen to it as an album.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah, but I've
Well,
definitely come. I used to. Sorry.
no, I was going to say, yeah, thank you for not, thank you for being a lot calmer than I expect you to be about that.
No, yeah, if this was like 5, 6 years ago, I would have like ripped your head off. But I've definitely
Because,
come around with diorama.
yeah, I know that
I
you're
used
a bit of a fanboy of their 90s um,
yeah, I prefer the
repertoire.
earlier stuff. So my
Me too.
opinion used to be like, love the first three, didn't like the last two. Now it's like the first four. Young Modern Station. Well, we'll talk about that in the Silverchair episode, I
I'm
think.
scared.
But yeah, diorama has definitely grown on me a lot, and I'm like, I think I don't know how to word it, but yeah, it's just like grown on me a lot. And I'm like, oh, I think maybe because at the time I was probably being immature with it all, whereas Diorama is a very mature album. And
Mm,
I think that was sort of my
yep.
realization. Um, Whereas the other three, or like more so the first two, were really just like, oh, there's teen dickheads just rocking out. Neon
Yeah.
Ballroom's really the beginning of them. I would say it's like that's where it began to get really mature, and then Diorama's like a whole new level of mature.
Mm.
So
Yep.
I'm not surprised it's on your list. I'm just surprised at the placement, really.
Well, there we go.
Yeah,
Hopefully you continue that theme of being surprised.
good. After last episode, well, yeah, classical. I would never have placed a bet on that. Far out. That was awesome. Good choice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um,
All right.
Alrighty.
What's next?
19. 19. Um, this band is actually the very first band I ever saw live. Do you remember who that is? My sister took me.
Um, is it the Living End?
No, they're an American band.
Um,
The
American
world is
band.
a vampire. Do you
Oh,
know?
Queens of the Stone Age.
Smashing
Who is it?
Pumpkins.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah,
Queens of the Stone Age.
close enough. They kind of got that
That's
same
not.
grungy kind of element.
They're completely different. Awesome.
Yeah,
Anyway,
you're
Smash.
right, actually.
That's awesome. Alrighty, yeah, Smashing Pumpkins, first band I ever saw. One of my favorite bands ever. My sister got me into them. Funnily enough, the album actually we talk about is not the album that she showed me. She showed me the album called Siamese Dream, which is their second album. But the
Yep.
album I'm going to be talking about is called the album that came out after that one. It's called Melancholy and Infinite Sadness, which is
Okay.
a double album. And personally, I'm not really into double albums. I find them to be too long, or like it runs out of steam, or it feels like there's too many ideas crammed in there. This is the very rare occasion where I think the double album was nailed. Like every song is just amazing.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, this is just again back to the whole when you listen to an album, it's experience. Like I would say, this album isn't in experience. Like you can't just pick a song here or a song there. You've got to listen to the side one and side two all the way through, and you just go on this amazing journey. It's an amazing experience, and
Is your
the absolute
is your street being invaded right now? It looks like there's World War Three going on in the background, like all the like flashing lights.
I
What's going on?
don't know. I think it's just windy. My blinds have run around, and it's just sunny, and I don't know. Not much I can do
Okay,
about it.
that's all right. We'll just ignore the North Koreans. That's fine.
Yeah. Kim Jong, get out. Sorry, neighbors. They'd probably be like, "What the hell's he on about?" Um, um, the range of like sounds that are on this album is wild. Like they go from like there's a song on there called Tonight Tonight, which we can go back to. Like it sounds like a song to be played on Broadway. It's got all these strings and this choir, and it's very epic sounding. They range from that to songs like Jelly Belly, or what's my favorite song, XYU. These like really heavy sort of songs that, Jelly Belly is like this 2.5, I think it's about 3 minutes actually, just this in your face rock sort of song. XYU, I want to say it goes for like 7 minutes. It's
Hmm.
this really long, heavy song, and I love it. They've even got ballads on there. They've even got like classic rock songs, like I was quoting before, like Butterfly. Oh my god, Bullet with Butterfly Wings. That's the song, which is like they play the biggest hit. They've got so many great songs on this album, and it's sort of like if it's one of the albums where if this would be, I would even say like a desert island, just because a desert island album, that's like, oh, if you're in strand on a desert island, you can only take 5 albums, that sort of classic
Yep.
question. This would
Yep.
be one because it's a double album and there's such a wide variety of songs. Like I wouldn't get sick of it because there's so much to it.
Hmm.
Um, Amazing album.
Okay.
I love this album a lot. Yeah.
I remember in high school you gave me a whole lot of music, like a thumb drive of music that I think I famously took a while to give back to you.
Yeah, it
But
was about 2 years or so, but yeah.
yeah, but you did give me the music, and I remember all the Smashing Pumpkins. I'd probably be able to tell you what the albums were based on the cover,
Yeah.
just because I remember just putting all my iTunes and seeing it. seeing it all the time.
Yeah.
Um,
This
but yeah,
definitely would have been on there.
a band that I actually don't know much about.
Yeah.
I haven't explored them
Yeah.
much at all, to be honest. So I've always known
Yeah.
that you've been into them.
Yeah. I would highly recommend like just the 90s stuff they did. Like the first like 5 albums or so are great. After that, it's up to you.
Okay.
um Personally, some it's like they're hit and miss later on. Someone's like, oh, this is great, and others are like that's indeed an album.
Mm,
Um
that's an
so
album.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it's an album. That's definitely an MP3 file I'm listening to. Um,
It's a collection of sound,
yeah,
organized
yeah,
sound.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. You're number 19, mate.
My number 19 is a band that is very new. I don't think you've heard them before, unless I've like really like loosely mentioned them to you before. They're a modern thrash metal band called
Beach
Power
Boys.
Trip,
Oh,
the
okay.
Beach Boys. um, yeah, they're called Power Trip. The album is Nightmare Logic. A few years back, I was well, I still am majorly into my thrash metal, but I was
Man.
wanting to explore like something because I was kind of not getting sick of, but I was, oh, I've heard this album so much, this, that,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. I thought, you know what, I'm going to try and expand. So then I joined some Facebook group of like thrash metal or something. And then I saw a recommendation of this band and I went on YouTube or no, not YouTube, Spotify and listened to the first song on this album. And I was, oh, wow, it sounds like I'm listening to like 1987, um, like really riff heavy, like really like chuggy e kind of
Yeah.
um, sounding like proper thrash metal. Um, and that's exactly what this album is from start to finish. It's only about half an hour, 8 songs, I'm pretty sure, or 9. Um, but every time I hear this album, it just takes me back, even though I wasn't born then. It takes me back to the 80s
Yeah.
slash early 90s, just peak metal. And I just love the sound of it. Really drivey. The singer is just like your classic. They're an American band, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, he's just your classic like front man, like really gruff kind of voice.
Yeah.
Um, Dark themes, as I said, chuggy e kind of
Yeah.
riffs. Um, just solos over the top of like a really good rhythm guitar. It's so good.
Yeah.
My favorite song is the Executioner's Tax. Just talking about like the guillotine. Um, just I don't know. It's just really cool. I love it. Um, a new find, and I'm surprised that I would prefer. I'm kind of basing my list again off like the order. I would prefer to listen to this album over the other one. I am surprised. I would prefer to listen to this album over Diorama.
Yeah.
Um,
Heart just went.
yeah. um, Obviously not trying to throw shade at anything below this,
Yeah.
but I just was really surprised when I heard it, thinking that modern metal, as you described, is normally like new metal, kind of got its very distinct sound. Um,
Yeah.
but I love the sound of thrash metal, and I'm just glad that there are still bands that are out today that can contribute to the original sound.
Oh yeah. I think you've
Yeah,
shown me this album before. I swear. I'm not sure if it was the Executioner's Tax or there was a different song, but I vaguely remember going, I discovered this song, give it a listen. And I listened to it and I was like, whoa, this is like sick. And I remember really
yeah.
liking it. I swear you've shown me this uh band before.
I
And
was
I
probably
think
really
it's
excited when I discovered it, so I probably went straight to you about it, to be honest.
yeah. Well,
Which I
we
think I
both know we're
did.
big thrash heads, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I love my thrash, as we'll sort of see like, oh, actually no, not really. But I do love my thrash.
Yeah.
Um, we both love, the classic big four, your Anthrax, Slayer, um, Megadeth, Metallica, there's Overkill, Testament.
Mm.
Would you count Motorhead as thrash?
No,
Yeah?
no,
No?
no. They're just heavy metal, kind of like Iron Maiden, but
Yeah.
um,
No, I made it's not thrash, no.
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 Um, we will. I'm sure, mate. Possibly some of those bands might come up again later. So I guess we'll leave
Yeah,
that there.
100%. Yeah. Um, and I think there's a credit as well. I find it very impressive when bands nowadays can actually still make heavy songs in E standard tuning. Like so many
Yeah.
bands do like drop this, do open that, and then it's like, well,
Mm.
yeah, your strings look like spaghetti, mate. Of course, it's going to sound heavy. Like if you can, if you can, but like, I don't know. I just find it very impressive to be an E stand and still make it sound heavy. Like I give like
Yeah.
full credit to the band who can do that. I mean, if you want to
Yep.
go to like drop D or whatever, like go for it. I'm not judging, but like, I don't know, I just find it very impressive. And
D's
also the
fine.
best thrash, drop D is like the best tune. That's my personal favorite tuning. Um, but and there's also I find that the best thrash metal albums always have 8 tracks. I don't know what it is.
Mm.
All of them
Yeah.
always have 8.
You're right. Yep.
Yeah,
100%.
there you
It's the
go.
magic number. Okay, so we have just had a little discussion, and timing is an issue in this episode. So we are going to keep it here. You've probably already seen that by the duration of the time left, anyway, but that's fine.
Yeah,
Um, so what we're going to do is we're going to continue with our 20 down to 11 next episode, and then
yeah,
so as minimum, we depending on how much we get through next episode, we'll move on to our top 10 after that.
yeah,
Whether that be next episode or not, we will leave up to how well we manage our time with that.
yeah.
So, any final thoughts, Matt, before we break away for today?
I'm just very excited to see the rest of your list because just your honorable mentions, just the curveballs,
Been some wild
like
cards, haven't there?
Blink and classical, awesome. And then yeah, just the fact we both had Wolf Mother was awesome.
Yeah.
That was
As
at
soon
the
as you
same
as
spot.
as soon as you said a band that we've seen, I'm like, oh no way, because the one of the only bands we've seen together is my next honorable mention. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. That just proves how
yeah.
influential they are to us as well. We kind of almost were Wolf Mother 2.0, weren't we? Back in high school with Jacob,
I
in a
still
way.
get hot sweats anytime you hear Joke in the Thief. I reckon we played the song a
Yeah.
hundred plus times. I'm not even kidding. Just no, no, no,
No,
no,
you're right.
no. Not again.
Yeah, it was definitely in high demand, wasn't it, from our peers?
Yeah,
Oh, play Joke. Probably certain people wanting us to play that just
yeah,
on absolute repeat. Um,
yeah.
Great. Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you kindly. Thank you, everyone. See
Thanks for
you.
listening,
See you next time.
guys. See you in part 2.